on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular. The official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One, small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
After a split of road games out on the East Coast this past week, Hawkeye basketball is back home at Carver Hawkeye Arena for a pair of Big Ten collisions with former Pac-12 powers in the Oregon Ducks tomorrow evening and the Washington Huskies on Saturday. Man, the regular season is fast winding down. Just a half dozen games remain. 3 at home, 3 on the road before March Madness arrives in a couple weeks down in Indianapolis. The Hawkeyes and the Oregon Ducks tip off at 7:30 tomorrow. Here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. For the next 90 minutes, we'll break it down. We'll break down the key matchups between these two teams here on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Welcome into the toasty and warm Watermill Kitchen and Bar at the Hyatt Regency here in the Iowa River Landing. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside former Hawkeye great NBA world champion Bobby Hansen. We're toasty and comfortable in here. I can tell you it beats being outside tonight, unless you're an ice fisherman or you like snowmobiling and temperatures like this. It's icy. It's a refrigerated wintry night in Iowa City and Johnson County, and but it is February too. Let's not forget that, right? So we'll hopefully everybody has gotten through the last couple days of sub-zero temperatures. Right now it's a balmy 5 degrees. In Iowa City, the real feel, or the wind chill they used to call it. Now it's called real feel. That's -10. But the wind isn't howling, so it's livable, as we like to say in Iowa. Farmers are used to being out in this every day. But we're glad you could join us. If you're in your living room or on the highway driving, please be careful tonight. And you're invited to join the discussion for the next hour and a half here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. And let me give you the connections. On Twitter, you can reach us at Gary Dolphin. On Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. The U.S. Cellular text line is available at 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344. Thank you, U.S. Cellular. And this year, we appreciate the Hawkeye Radio Network for setting up an email description, an email address for you. Just reach us at hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. That's hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. The Oregon Ducks with Coach Dana Altman, a familiar name. Dana was at Creighton University out in Omaha for a lot of years. Had some tremendous teams there, a couple that Iowa met in the NCAA tournament. Altman has been at Oregon for 17 years. They just come off a 5-game losing streak, 4 of those on the road. The Ducks have bounced back nicely, though, with a pair of home victories over Northwestern and Rutgers. Bobby, I'm guessing, we were talking about after Rutgers and Maryland facing 3 or 4 lottery picks in this year's NBA draft. Now you get Oregon. Oregon's always got great players. I don't know if any on the lottery list this year, but I can name you a couple from the past. Coach Altman always finds them out there in the Northwest, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does a great job, him and his staff, no doubt about it. And they got a couple of guys at the top of the scouting report for the Hawkeyes, a guard by the name of Jackson Shellstad. He averages, I think, about 14 a game. He's a sophomore. The other 5 starters are seniors, Gary, and led by the big fella inside, Nate Biddle, who transferred in, but I've watched them play several times, and I'm impressed with the way they play. They play hard. They go fast. They'll D you up. They make about 35% of their three-point shots, but they got all the facets of a good team. So this will be a tough test. Once again, for the Hawkeyes, it'll be 7:30 start tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena, so we need a big crowd out there to support our guys, support this team, and see what happens here. Big week for Iowa basketball with the second home game coming up there that we have with Washington comes in, the other Northwest country, Big Ten edition that we have there. So a couple opportunities for the Hawkeyes, and should get Riley Mulvey back, I think. I should get Drew Thelwell back, listening to Coach McCaffery in his Zoom teleconference this morning. So that's good news for the Hawkeyes, because I think we really missed Drew Thelwell in these past couple games.
Talked to Drew out at Maryland on Sunday, and he's looking forward to getting back in the lineup. I mean, all he did all weekend was walk around bouncing a basketball. You can tell he's all hoops. He can't wait to get back on the floor. He hated being in that sweatsuit.
Yeah, he was working with Brad Floyd during practice, walking up steps and really massaging that ankle, trying to get that thing ready. Any chance he could have gone, that kid would have gone, because he's a gamer, Gary, and he brings so much to the team, whether he's the lead guard or he's the off guard playing alongside Brock Harding. But I thought Brock played well, getting put back in that starting lineup there. He didn't drop his head. He came out and produced, and big win for the Hawkeyes at Rutgers. I thought that second half down the stretch, the word that I wrote down on my notes was that they played with poise.
Yeah, they did.
8-0 finish down the stretch, made their free throws. Peyton Sanford did. Peyton buried, he was struggling a little bit from the three-point line all game, but made a big one down the stretch, what I called the dagger, it's ice water three-pointer right from the top of the key. Barely tickled the twine on that one, and got the victory for the Hawkeyes. Glad to see those guys have some fun with it and get one on the road. The first true road victory for the Hawkeyes of the season.
What was encouraging, or doubly encouraging about that, Bobby, is they picked right up Sunday against the Terps, right where they left off at Rutgers. The issue's been, great half, average half, poor half. And, part of that is Drew Thelwell's out of the lineup. Owen Freeman is not in there. He's your leader in rebounding and points scored. And but things are getting better. Owen was supposed to he thought he'd get his cast off today, removed from that surgical repair of his right hand a few weeks ago. I don't know if he did or not, but either way, he's not coming back regardless this year, but he'll be back next year. So they are getting healthier. Like you said, Riley Mulvey had a nasty case of the flu, but they started out tremendous first half against Maryland. And then with this Maryland team, there's so much talent, especially with the big guys, Queen and Reese in the middle. I did not anticipate, their guards are good shooters. I didn't expect to get 12 threes out of the 3 guards, and that really was a difference maker in the end.
Well, they I think are tops in the conference with three-pointers made. The 3 of those guys, the 3 that we're talking about is Selton McGwell, who was hot early, and then you had Jacoby Gillespie, who's a really good player. He had 4 three-point field goals, but Rodney Rice got him going there to start the second half. The Hawks held a 4-point lead at halftime. I thought, talking to Courtney Eldridge, who had the scout on that, I thought the Hawks really had Maryland on the run. At that point, really had them backpedaling a little bit, but they made a couple baskets, made a three-pointer. Selton McGwell did at the end of the half there to pull them to within 4, but they came out on fire in the second half. It was a little bit of an extended halftime. They reviewed one of the plays there, so a little more time in the locker room, but they came out and it was Rice. Right away, Fran used a quick timeout at the 18.5 minute mark to try to stem the tide. They kept rolling at that point, and the Hawks were playing catch-up from there forward. But yeah, that's a talented team. They're going to do some damage in the NCAA tournament. They are. Kevin Willard has got them playing well. You got them playing defense, got them playing offense, and they don't use a lot of guys, Gary. If anything, on that team, the depth,
7 or 8.
Yeah, they just use a 7 or 8, but they the top 5 there, they're talented. Second half, big fella got going, Derek Queen. He was running over the Hawkeyes and having his way, doing whatever he wanted to do. I don't think he had a point in the first half. Didn't play a whole lot either, but our Hawks, Seydou Traore and Laje Dembele, really bottled those guys up. Julian Reese, he did his thing. He was 7 out of 9 from the floor, 12 rebounds, 16 points. He didn't venture too far from the hoop, but the left-hander, just a seasoned veteran.
Seydou Traoré had the great first half. He was the catalyst for the Hawks on Sunday, and he'll be our player guest tonight a little bit later on here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Fran is not here tonight. We'll be visiting with the Hawkeye assistant co-head coach Sherman Dillard, a longtime assistant coach under Fran McCaffery at any number of locales. Sherman has the scout on the Oregon Ducks tomorrow evening, and we'll get keen insight from Coach Dillard as to what to expect with the University of Oregon. And this Oregon team was 16-3 at one time, ranked in the top 10. I think they got as high as 7th. I know they were ranked 9th. Obviously, it's a team with a lot of talent, and then that 5-game losing streak hit. But they've won back-to-back games since then over the Northwestern Wildcats and Rutgers on Sunday night. Oregon comes to Iowa City for just the second time ever. Iowa leads the overall series. This will be the 9th meeting. The Hawks have won 6 of the first 8. As I mentioned, we're at the Hyatt Regency, Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar. You can watch the show live each and every week, and they're offering an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come on down to Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball. Again, you can reach us on Twitter, on Facebook, by email. Let me give them to you real quick before we take our first break. On Twitter, we're at Gary Dolphin. On Facebook, facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. The U.S. Cellular text line reads 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344, or email us at hawktalk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. That's hawktalk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Bobby and I will be right back. We'll visit with Seydou Traoré, Iowa's fine, young, starring, and rising star at forward. Seydou Traoré had a big game against Maryland. We'll get Seydou's thoughts for not only tomorrow night, but going forward the rest of the year as Iowa wants for sure to make the Big Ten tournament down in Indianapolis. We'll give you the scenarios there when we come back to the Hyatt Regency and Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Hear that? That's the Iowa Lottery powering up the new Pac-Man scratch ticket, where you could jump your way to $50K in instant cash prizes. Even if you don't score big in your first round, you still get an extra life. Because you can enter non-winning tickets in the VIP club for a chance to win a Pac-Man arcade package, plus your share of $325,000 in cash prizes. That's a lot of waka winning. Woo-hoo! Pac-Man is registered and copyrighted by Bandai Namco Entertainment Inc. Enter and see rules at iLottery.com/VIP.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Card Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Royal Flooring is your one-stop shop for the finest things in your home. Find the best material from the most trusted brands in our beautiful, fully stocked showroom in Urbandale, or shop in comfort online at shoproyalflooring.com.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffery. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
3rd down 11. Straight back to pass to Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. Well, that's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawks and the Oregon Ducks Big Ten basketball tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's a 7:30 start. That's a little bit of an oddity. Usually we're either at 5:30, 7, or 9, or excuse me, 8 o'clock. But this is a 7:30 tip-off. That means a 6:30 pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa and Oregon. The Ducks come in 18 wins, 8 defeats, 7-8 in the Big Ten. They're finding out, as most of the teams from out west, that joining the Big Ten is no cup of tea. Or you got a knockdown drag out every night. Oregon a 32 on the net, 35 on KenPom. So they've got a very glossy resume, and the Hawks would like nothing better than to knock them out tomorrow evening before Washington comes into town on Saturday afternoon. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside Bobby Hansen. And let's welcome to the Hawkeye microphone Seydou Traoré, Iowa's outstanding young forward out of New York City. Does it get this cold, New York?
It's pretty cold here. We're in the negatives now, but kind of used to it. The weather in New York and here are pretty similar.
This is beautiful out here, though. Yeah. If you like all four seasons and winter sports, it would be pretty easy for a guy like you to get into ice fishing or snowmobiling or skiing, downhill skiing, maybe after the season.
Yeah, definitely after the season. I would like to try that.
Well, you had the great first half out at Maryland on, by the way, Seydou had 16 points the other night. He brings much more than just offense to the table, but got that third or fourth foul early. Yeah. I can't remember which one it was. Doesn't matter. Fran had to pull you. Great first half for the team. Second half, obviously Maryland ratcheted up the man-to-man defense. Went to a zone early in that second half. Did that throw you guys off?
I feel like we was quick shooting the ball, like Fran was talking about earlier. We was not playing in our flow and our rhythm. In the first half, we showed that. We moved the ball, no quick shots. We got stops. We played our game, quick up. And our offense was just flowing. I feel like in the second half, we kind of took our foot off the gas. We got settled. We started settling for jump shots, not driving the zone. And, just kind of went sideways from there. But something we just got to get back in the gym and learn from.
You guys have good practice today then?
Yeah.
Everybody got back together?
Yeah, we definitely had a good practice today. I feel like everybody was more locked in today. We're just paying more attention to detail. And we're just going to improve and grow from there.
Yeah, and talk about your first year here. You're a sophomore, correct, Seydou?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got you for 3-4 years here. But, yeah, so you're a sophomore year. How's it going? And talk about just your progress. Last year you were at Manhattan. I think you were an all-league rookie player for the squad. So we're glad you're here, man.
Man, appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. But I definitely learned a lot this year. Just mainly like off the court, on the court, just taking care of your body, just being mentally prepared for games, just knowing that putting a lot of extra work is going to benefit you in the game. So I learned a lot, and I love it here, and I appreciate everybody here taking care of me, helping me grow as a person, not even just on the basketball end of the sides, but just in life in general.
Yeah, you got tremendous athletic ability, Seydou. Where did that come from? Your parents, or your training, or?
I think that was just a natural, God-gifted talent. Obviously as I grow as a basketball player, I definitely train on those type of things, like being more explosive and stuff like that. But I feel like it was just, as a kid, I always wanted to just jump and try to grab the backboard, try to grab the rim or something, So I feel like just constantly keep trying that. That definitely helps.
Yeah, and your length, too, right there in the front of the 1-2-2 press. I mean, you're like a big cat out there that's just stalking its prey, coming up with steals.
Yeah, just being active. Fran always tells me fly around. He tells me, he keeps it short and simple, fly around. Fly around, cause havoc everywhere.
A lot of your mannerisms at the front of that press. I love you at the front of that 1-2-2. Aaron White was here a few years ago, big A He was 6'9", 6'10". He had this incredible wingspan.
Yeah.
But I love watching him running the baseline, guarding the inbounder, because rarely he'd always get a deflection. And when he set that trap on the sideline, like you have done a lot, the lights go out on the guy with the ball, and so that press can be so effective in a situation like that, can it?
Most definitely. Just once again flying around and then trapping the ball, making them move it quick as possible.
What's your wingspan? They do. You're 7 foot.
Oh yeah, I think I'm about
measure it out there side to side.
Yeah, about 7'1", 7 foot.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you stand what, 6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7", 6'6". Yeah.
Yeah. You got a future.
Yeah.
Seydou Traoré, 16 points the other day, 6 of 10 from the field. Highest point total as a Hawkeye, had a team best, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 3 rebounds, and 20 minutes of court time, which tells me that you're just beginning to scratch the surface about, everybody wants to score. But as you know, and Coach McCaffery will reiterate in the Big Ten, you got to rebound, you got to play defense, you got to get it done at both ends of the floor. And we can just see you emerging. What's been the toughest adjustment for you coming from Manhattan a year ago and becoming a sophomore versus a freshman?
Definitely a lot of things to adjust to, especially just being consistent. I think that was like the most toughest part, just staying consistent with the work. And then, especially coming from a freshman to becoming a sophomore, it's just, I feel like I evolved a lot as a player on and off the court, but the biggest thing is just being consistent and always staying in the gym, or even when things is not going right, just making sure you stay level-headed, never get too high, never get too low. So just staying level-headed, I feel like that's the biggest thing I'm still learning as just a person, not even just a basketball player.
Seydou, you had a tough setback here early in the year. I thought you were on a path there to really get off to a great start in your sophomore year, and then you twisted that ankle, and it's like, man, can't get a break here.
Yeah.
But you seem to be fully recovered from that.
Yeah, definitely just want to thank the Iowa athletic training staff, had me in there every day while my team was practicing. It definitely sucks not being out there to help my team win games, but definitely had a setback. It helped me realize that things can just happen so quick. So, I was never the player to always put ankle tape on and stuff like that, but, you got to always take care of your body. Things can happen really fast, but I definitely learned a lot from that stretch, especially just getting more connected with the players, being more just around the guys. So I definitely learned a lot.
Yeah, part of being injured, you got to stay connected to the team, because it's so easy to sort of feel sorry for yourself and think the world's falling down on you, and you retreat a little bit. And I know that's part of what Brad Floyd talks about, keeping guys together, keeping them involved.
And while you don't want to miss 6 games, certainly that's a long stretch. But I've talked to a number of players down through the years who, while injured, they're sitting at the end of the bench. They're watching the game from a different perspective, and it can really become an educational thing for you when you do get back, right?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely learned a lot just from conversations, just from watching film. Definitely learned a lot that helped me now, just being able to learn the game from a different standpoint, and just it helped me a lot, honestly. Helped me a lot.
Give us, we've been reading the scouting report here a little bit on Oregon. What's the film tell you? What do the coaches tell you about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we just got to make sure we pay attention to detail. It's a very tough Oregon team. We just got to be on point, making sure that we together stay as a unit, especially the point guard they have there, especially the big man they have there, Jackson Shadowsfield, TJ Bamba, Nathan Bettle. It's definitely a tough team, so we just got to pay attention to detail and just play together as a unit, play our game, rebound down, quick up, and have fun.
Biddle and Bamba were there a year ago. They were part of that really good team at Oregon a year ago. Biddle, he'll get your attention. 7 foot, 240, averages 13 points, a little over 7 rebounds a game. And Bamba, what a compliment. 6'5" senior, 10 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Those 2 guys really are the catalyst for that Oregon team, aren't they?
Yeah, most definitely. They're the team. They're the 2 guys that run the team. So we definitely pay a lot of attention to detail to those 2 guys. But you can't disrespect the guys off the bench as well. Supreme Cook, Mookie Cook, Kaweem Evans. Those are guys we got to pay attention to detail to.
How much film do you guys watch?
Man, we watch a lot of film. Beginning of practice, at the end of practice, sometimes in the middle of practice, just making sure that we are aware of everything and no slip-ups.
No slip-ups.
No slip-ups.
Well, everybody's going to slip up. You just don't want too many of them.
Yeah,
right?
not too many.
I like that. No slip-ups. The public, see a side of Coach McCaffery on TV, on the radio, watching him in person, and he can get a little wild at times. He wants to win so bad for you and for his guys. Tell us something about when you're in the film room with Coach. When you're in those close practices, the shoot-arounds, and Bobby and I have watched him over the years. What impresses you about his demeanor?
How he stays really calm. He never gets rattled. Especially when adversity hits, he never gets rattled. That's what I learned from him, and that's what I'm like taking from him. Just not even just from a basketball standpoint, just in life. Never get rattled. Always look at the bigger picture. And I feel like that's what I'm learning from him, just as a man. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
Grow up, be a man, right?
Be a man, grow up.
That's terrific. And your first trip through the Big Ten, this has been fun, physical, but fun for you, I'm sure, huh?
It's been tough, but definitely learning a lot. It's a learning process.
Well, let's hope you stay healthy.
What's your favorite Big Ten venue outside of Iowa City that you've gone to so far? You've never been to, I guess. Manhattan probably went to a couple Big Ten schools.
Yeah, but I think the best venue that I've been to so far, I really enjoyed Ohio State. Really enjoyed Ohio State. And
Value City Arena.
Yeah.
It's an NBA arena.
Yeah, and I also like USC. It was just a different...
you like L.A.?
Yeah, just a different vibe.
5 days in L.A.
Yeah, that wasn't
too bad, was
it? It wasn't too bad, but, it sucked that we didn't get those 2 wins, but it was just a different type of energy, different vibe.
Yeah, the learning process continues. It's a coast-to-coast league now. Seydou Traoré, our guest here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Hey, stay healthy now, young man. You got a great career ahead at Iowa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Seydou.
Thank you guys.
Grab some food, man.
Yes.
Enjoy it here at the Watermill.
The fare is delicious at the Hyatt Regency's Watermill Bar and Grill. We're coming back with more Hawk Talk here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We'll take your questions on Twitter, on Facebook, email, and on your cellular telephone, courtesy of U.S. Cellular. All straight ahead. Coach Sherman Dillard will be joining us here shortly. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
I'm Y.A. Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes,
and it's blocked. It. Kick is
don't
to the
touch
line
it.
of scrimmage.
Don't touch the ball.
Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, God, man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
We're back at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Welcome into the show. We're here each and every week. Just a few weeks left for Hawk Talk here before we head to postseason. And every week, every Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery, they offer an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, $5 house wines. Please come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We'll warm you up on this wintry night. And join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball. Hawk Talk, we're here until 8:30. Typically, we do not have a show next week because of actual basketball game commitments, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as we wind the show down later on. But we still have 2-3 shows left, so make it a date to come on out and join us. We're also brought to you by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They know that quality coverage takes a great team. And with a Wellmark individual and family health plan, you'll get the coverage you need with the doctors you want. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Wellmark.com/covered. They'll throw up a great defense against the wintertime flu bug and other maladies, injuries. If you slip and fall in the ice or the snow, make sure you've got your Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield policy up to date. I'm Gary Dolphin with my broadcast partner Bobby Hansen, and filling in for Coach McCaffery tonight is a longtime assistant coach Sherman Dillard. Sherman has the scout on tomorrow night's Oregon Ducks, and we thought it'd be only appropriate if Coach can't be here. By the way, Fran is out watching son Jack play at Iowa City West. This is the final week of regular season high school basketball for the Iowa City West Trojans and the larger schools around the state. Some of the tournament games in the smaller classes have started or will start later in the week, and Coach obviously being home with the game tomorrow night, he had a chance to go watch Jack play, and why not wish him all the best, Jack and the McCaffery family. And it's always wonderful to have Sherman Dillard, our buddy Sherm, here with us. You're looking good, my man. Looks like you got your third workout in today, okay, huh?
You know what? I had two, and I didn't get three.
Okay.
I got two.
Well, it's the night's young. you were obligated to come here, but anytime you can split two games on the road with those long trips to the East Coast, you'll take it. I know the second half was disappointing Sunday, especially the way they played the first half, the Hawks did.
You're right. We had deliberated quite a bit about whether we should stay out on the East Coast when we went out to play Rutgers and spend like 5 days out there and just bus down to College Park. But that's no excuse. I thought we played a great first half. I thought we defended. We scored the ball well. Had a lot of ball and player movement, which we need. We're very good when we do that. I thought the second half, it just got away from us.
And right away, right out of the gate, they come out and whacked a couple threes, and those guys can shoot threes, but that really seemed to ignite Queen, and Reese had been solid in the first half, but both together in tandem, they're tough to block out.
They are. What happens in a game of basketball there, I always talk about the ebbs and flows of the game, and there's that tipping point where the game is hanging in the balance, and we had a decent lead there at halftime, and we thought we had a great talk. Obviously, we talked about the things we needed to do. We knew that they were going to go to Queen the second half because obviously he's the man, if you will. We just got off to a bad start. Turnover, ill-advised shot here. And then when we got down, what happens is the tendency is for you to think you can get it back in a hurry. So I think we started to quick shoot the ball instead of moving the basketball around, making them play some defense. And then it just spiraled out of control. Credit to Maryland. I thought they did a great job in terms of moving the ball and getting the shots they wanted. And Queen was unstoppable there for a moment. We didn't have anybody that could guard him in the low post. What he would do is he would set a ball screen, and he would short roll, and they would hit him on the short roll. So now he becomes like the trigger man. And he's capable mid-range to make that shot. and he's also very capable of putting on the ball on the floor, making a move and going to the hole. And so he was phenomenal during that stretch.
It's easy to forget he's 6'10", 245. He's a giant.
He's obviously sometimes guys that size don't have the skill set. Queen has the complete skill set.
And a freshman. Pure freshman.
Freshman. He's mature beyond his years. The ability to be 6'10" with that long wingspan, and to be able to put the ball on the floor and to create his shot is unbelievable. I know the NBA people are looking at him because he becomes a stretch four, if you will, if he can improve his perimeter jump shot. Right now he's mid-range and in. I see him in the future being able to step a little bit beyond and maybe making that three. But he has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see the three-pointer. He's got good mechanics, though, Sherm, and just that length that young man has. And you look at his face, and he's 16 years old, it looks like, when you look at him. But
well, you know what? I had a chance to see the young man when he was in high school, playing on the circuit, the summer circuit. And to be honest with you, and candid, he was heavy. And credit the young man. He worked on his weight. He got his body to looking, lean and mean. And now he has that skill set. And one thing that really stands out about him as we began to prepare for the game and we studied all the film, he's cerebral. Like he really understands the game. He's a terrific passer, plays within himself, but a very capable scorer. He checks all the boxes. He really does.
What'd you do in the first half, Tom? I don't think he had a point. He had him scoreless in the first half.
Well, you know what happened was it's kind of pick your poison, if you will, Bobby. We were doubling the post and obviously crowding him and making him kick it back out. So we did a great job on him. I think he had 4 points the first half. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dolph.
I'll double check.
Yeah, but anyway, what we did was we doubled the post. But then they're kicking it out to threes. So we eventually got to the point where we would decided in the second half we had to take away the threes, and now third queen is hurting us in the low block. So again, it's pick your poison, and they did a great job of kind of changing the game plan and going inside him.
Yeah, Maryland's a good team. I'm in the NCAA tournament. I got them marked in for a few rounds. Coming through there, but you're an old Maryland guy. You spent some time there. You had some friends that we got to talk to after the game. Enjoyed talking with them.
You know what, Bobby? It's people say this all the time. Once you reach a certain age in life, like time just flies, and so I'm always saying, I coached at Maryland. I coached Lynn Bias. I coached Buck Williams, Albert King. I worked for Lefty Drizel. And when we drove in there from the airport in Baltimore, it looked completely different. Yeah. And I began to think, this place has changed dramatically. And you know what it is that it was 40 years. I left there in 1985, Bobby. I spent 6 years there, had great years. We won an ACC championship. 5 out of the 6 years we were in the NCAA tournament. But the place has changed dramatically because it's been 40 years. I left in 1985 to go to Cal Berkeley to work with my college coach, Lou Campanelli, in the Pac-10 at the time.
For the record, Big Queen had, I don't remember one field goal in that first half, but he did have 2 free throws.
He had 2 free throws.
So he had 4 points, 7 rebounds.
Yes.
That number. He and Reese both had 7 boards in the second half. And you knew you were up against, or in the first half, you knew you were up against it on the backboard because of that size. What caught me off guard, and I know those guards can shoot the 3, but man, they were drilling. The one was a 40-footer. And they had 12 for the game among 3 guys. Yeah. So they to Bobby's point, this is a team that can make a deep run in the tournament if they play 40 minutes of defense because they've got the talent there, no doubt about it.
They really do. It's probably Kevin's best group. He's been down, I don't know how many years.
3 years.
Been there. 3 years. Yeah. And we knew this going in. We knew.
Sure.
I think what makes a team hard to guard is when you have that outstanding perimeter shooting. And then you have a guy like Queen and Reese, both are capable scorers in the block, physical, long. They're hard to guard. Again, as I said earlier, I'm repeating myself, but it's pick your poison. Do you stop the interior game or do you make sure you close out and shut out on the perimeter and don't give up the threes. And when we did that, they were starting to go inside to the bigs.
Let's go to Rutgers. Let's go to something positive. They had a big win on the road there, and I believe it was your scout.
It was my scout.
Yeah, so it always take pride in that. And the way you finished them out, I thought, with poise, 8-0 run to finish.
Well, going on the road is very difficult, and we talk to our team, and we try to keep it very simple. Obviously, we go through a comprehensive scouting report. We know every play they run. They have a tendency to call out every set. But to go on the road, you have to defend. You have to rebound the basketball. You have to take care of the basketball. And I think we did all three of those on the road. We had an opportunity to guard two of arguably the best players in the country, two guys that can be basically 2 or 3 in the NBA draft coming up. And I thought we did a decent job, a great job on defending them. And to your point, the second half, when we get the ball moving, when it's popping and it doesn't stick, and we're screening, we're having physical screens for people. We were able to get some three-point shots. We got our perimeter guys open. We'd struggled with that in games before that. But we were able to get Peyton open. We were able to get Josh Dix open. I thought Price came in and did a terrific job. But again, it's all about offensive efficiency and being able to quiet the noise on the road. That's a pretty tough place to play.
Sure is.
Those fans come in there, they're whooping and hollering. And we talked about just controlling the controllables.
It's a blue blood program. I mean, you mentioned Lefty Drizel. They can come any better than Lefty. And,
absolutely.
Gary won a national championship there as a head coach. Yeah. And it's a great program with great tradition. And obviously out of the old ACC, why not? North Carolina, Duke, Maryland, those three are usually up at the top. But did you – I was telling Bobby before you got here, Coach, you run into Harper and Bailey at Rutgers and then Queen, and I know Reese is not a lottery pick, but three lottery picks inside of 5 days, that's the Big Ten.
That is the Big Ten. You know what, though? It's sort of like the movie Hoosiers. You tell them, like, the court is 94 feet long, you know, and the rim is 10 feet high, and, he laces up his shoes just like you do. And, I mean, I hate to be that flippant with it.
But it's got to make you better, too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I challenged Seydoux, who was just here. I challenged him to guard Ace Bailey at that place. And then when we go to Maryland, we challenged Lodgy to do a good job on Derek Queen. And but we have a thing. We say it's got to be 5 as 1 defensively. And what I mean by that, all 5 guys have got to be in concert, working collectively to guard any of that action. Maryland does a great job with the ball screen action. So does Rutgers. We talked about them earlier. Mm-hmm. And so one guy can't guard a terrific point guard in ball screen action. You need a 5-man that can step up and hedge to slow down the progress of the point guard. And then we got to get over the top of that ball screen, so the point guard's got to get up in and over that ball screen. We got to tag the roll guy. So if Derek Queen is rolling, we got to make sure the wing is coming over to tag him. And then on top of that, it doesn't end there because the wing has to now get out to a great shooter.
Lots to process there.
Yeah, so 5 is 1 defensively, and I thought we did a great job, particularly against Rutgers. Didn't do so much the second half against Maryland.
You mentioned Lodgy. His production the last 2 games, and he's had games like this before, but the last 2 games, I speak of the consistency, rebounding, putbacks, hit a couple threes. You can see the young guy really coming on. His confidence seems to be growing.
You said that's the key word, confidence. And I have this saying, you can't rush things that need time to grow. But Lodgy has grown in that regard, and he seems to be more confident, particularly in the Maryland game. The second half, he was just, he's hungry, and he wants to please. Great young man, great kid. But he gives us the physicality we need. He gives up a few inches to the other bigs he's guarding, but because of his heart and because of his energy level, he's able to compete with those guys. But I think he's coming on strong. I'd like to say he's trending upward.
He is.
And the one thing we'd like to see out of Lodgy is just being more consistent on a day-to-day basis, and it's a good thing to see with him.
I think you're going to see it now because he's going to get minutes.
Yeah, he's getting more minutes, and as I said earlier, I think it just takes time to get to that point where you're self-assured, if you will, And you've been there, done that. He's done it on the road. Can he come home tomorrow night and do it against Oregon? I think so.
Yep.
I've seen him. He's had good practices. I had a talk with him the other day, and would be able to take constructive criticism. Like, we're trying to pump him up. We're trying to give him some encouragement, but we're also trying to improve his game. And a lot of times kids take that as criticism, and then they get into a shell. But Lodgy has seemed to take that. He's been a sponge. He's taken it all in. He says, Coach, I want to be coached. And that's a good thing to hear from a player. Like, he says, I want to be coached. I want you to tell me what I need to work on. So I think that's progress coming. I think, again, he's trending upward.
Great young guy, and we look forward to him improving every night out. When we come back, we take a break here now from the Hyatt Regency on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Appreciate Coach Dillard pinch hitting tonight for Fran. We're sponsored by so many wonderful folks. You've already heard from a couple of them. How about Iowa Corn? Throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hardworking values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers. They lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. We'll grow with Twitter and with your Facebook posts, your email questions, and obviously on the U.S. Cellular text line. We'll go there next with Coach Sherman Dillard as the Hawks get ready to entertain the Oregon Ducks tomorrow night, 7:30. Tickets available over at Carver Hawkeye Arena, 6:30 for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. This is Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency's Watermill Kitchen and Bar in Learfield.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Facing a criminal charge or complicated family law situation, Carr Law Firm has the trial experts you need. As experienced trial attorneys, we understand how much is on the line. Go to carlawiowa.com for a free consultation. That's Carr with 2 R's, lawiowa.com.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hawk Talk live from the Hyatt Regency, Coralville, Iowa, beautiful Iowa River Landing in the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Gary Dauphin with Bobby Hansen and assistant head coach Sherman Dillard here with us tonight, filling in for Coach McCaffery, who's out watching son Jack play. We're brought to you by U.S. Cellular, and U.S. Cellular want to thank them for providing the U.S. Cellular text line this year. That number is 319-853-8344. If you care to join us, and we sure hope you do. But we're going to go to Facebook first because during the break, Sherman was asking how my quadricep was doing, and we have a question from Jason down in Burlington. I missed Dolph over the past few games on the radio. No offense to Rob Brooks. Rob did a great job, by the way. Thank you, Rob Brooks. What happened, may I ask? You can't keep anything a secret anymore. I tore my left quadricep muscle, which, if you don't know, which I've learned now is the biggest muscle in your body. Yeah. And as I told Coach Dillard when I see him in the workout room, I said, I got to get off that elliptical. I'm obviously doing way too much of that elliptical. So anyway, it was a complete tear. Had surgery. It'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And it's no fun because everything that the knee provides is connected to the quadricep muscle. So Sherman was just asking how I was doing. I said, as good as can be expected. He said, I got to sit for one segment and stand up for another. And Sherman, of course, one-upsmanship, Bobby. You know, I tore my quadricep.
Yeah, I want to hear the story, though. You got halfway through it.
I'm sure he was in a more competitive state than I was. I was just going down the stairs. But I think it points out how careful you have to be the older you get.
You know, when I first heard the news, Dolph, that you had torn that, I went back to my days at James Madison as a head coach. I'm 44 years old. I'm still pretty active. I can still dunk easily. Ooh. So if you had a basketball camp and you open it up for questions, typically kids go, "Can you dunk?"
Sure.
And so I grabbed the ball. I could dunk it, without even warming up. So one day in practice, again, I'm 44 years old. The kids have a break. They're shooting free throws. I'm shooting some jump shots on the sideline. One of my players says, "Coach, man, you look in great shape, man. You got those calf muscles." They said, "Can you dunk?" I said, "Of course." So
of course.
I grab a ball. I go up and do my practice routine where I just drop it in, like Dr. J. So now I get very ambitious. So I have my best player. He's a point guard. I said, "David, I want you to dribble in. I want you to throw it off the backboard. I'm going to fall in behind you, and I'm going to grab it." So my vision was I was going to grab it with two hands, and I was going to Tommy Hawk dunk it. Mm-hmm. So we get that. The players are all standing around. David dribbles in. He throws it off the backboard. I run in. I never leave the floor.
Ooh. Oh, my.
I fall. I'm a 2-foot jumper, so I plant at the left, and I plant at the right, and I fall down. So now the gym is quiet. Godwin Hall is very quiet because they're afraid. They don't know what happened.
Sure.
I'm laughing because I didn't really know what happened. I didn't feel the pain.
You didn't realize.
I just fell down. And so my trainer comes over right away, and he looks at it, and my kneecap is just floating.
Bobbling around,
on top of my knee. And he says, "Coach, I hate to tell you this. You've torn your quadriceps tendon." But here's the thing, Doc. I saw you walking around and getting off the bus and everything. It took me a year and a half before I could jog again.
Oh, I can believe. Well, I'm not ready to jog right now, Coach. I just want to get back with the team.
It took me a year and a half to jog.
It's terrible.
And I never could. My left thigh has atrophied so much I could never get it back to where it was before. So my hat goes off to you.
Well, thanks,
there,
buddy.
brother.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you'll bounce back. It may take you 10 years. But
well, this one will. The last one was 8 years ago. It was 5 days before the Pinstripe Bowl.
But here's the thing, though. You didn't get embarrassed. So the next day, so I had to have surgery right away. Did you have to have surgery right away?
I had it a couple days later, yes.
No, I had mine immediately because they said, by the way, the quadricep tendon has the semitendinosus, semimenosus, all those.
Everything to the kneecap.
Yeah, those quad muscles. There's 4 muscles that connect to the patella.
I've learned a lot about the quadricep.
I took anatomy at James Madison, so I'm smart. But anyway, it pulls completely apart. It took me forever to get back to rehab.
And that was when you were 44, so that's been a few years ago.
I was in the best shape of my life, though.
Well, good point. But the technology today is better, a lot better, of course. And they sewed me back together, at least this leg. And
Just don't go dunking anymore.
No,
okay?
no.
Don't
My
try to
dunking
dunk.
days never occurred unless I'm dunking a donut in my coffee. Sure. So there's tonight's medical report here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. So we have much more in common than people think, right?
Exactly.
Bobby,
we're brothers from a different mother.
That's right. Bobby's had a lot of injuries in his NBA career, but
I never tore them big muscles like that.
Never tore the quad.
You know who else tore the quad? It was Charles Barkley.
Oh, did he?
Big Charles?
He tore his quadricep tendon.
That is a big quad.
Absolutely.
That man, if quad. Charles always reminded me of the big O Oscar, because when he turned around and throw that rump into you, got no chance.
No.
Because he's either going to score around you or go up over you or knock you right on your can and run down.
People don't realize how good Charles Barkley was in his prime.
Bobby has told me a number of stories how good Charles
6'4", 6'3". The way the guy could rebound and go over, just explosive.
As they say in the hood, he was a bad boy.
He was a bad dude.
He was a bad boy.
Well, his attitude was everything. I mean, that guy, he knew he was undersized, but he didn't care. He went right at Karl Malone.
Had a motor.
All of them.
He sure did.
Artis Gilmore, anybody.
Let's go, guys. Let's go to Twitter. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Sherman Dillard tonight. Glenn is in Eldridge. Coach, we're so competitive in close games, just can't seem to close out a few of them. What do you attribute that to? Well, remember, Owen Freeman's not on the floor these days, but we've won. The Hawks have won a lot of close games, but to his point, to his question, in my view, it's a handful of plays, maybe less when you get inside 10 minutes. Look at Purdue, look at Wisconsin, the last week or so. Competitive, just not enough in the end.
Yeah. Well, we've stressed for the last 3 weeks, to finish the race. We've been close. We do the things we have to do to be close in the game. It takes a great deal of mental toughness to be able to fight through those periods where things don't go your way. We have, I have to say, like a hole the size of a pen can sink an ocean liner. And so it's just the little things. And in the game of basketball, because it's so dynamic, it's so fast-paced, the momentum shift can shift so quickly.
So fast.
An ill-advised shot, a live ball turnover, one defensive breakdown shifts the momentum to the opposing team. And we've got to have more, I call it mental stamina, to be able to fight through those periods when we don't play as well as we want to play. It's not a game of perfect. We've always said it's not a game of perfect. And what has happened to us in some of the games is that if we get down, a team goes on a 5-0, 6-0 run, we have a tendency to want to try to get it back ASAP.
One possession.
And there's no 6-point shot that you can make. And we have a tendency to play a little bit faster. What did John Wynn used to say? Be quick, but don't hurry. And we'd get into that mode. And at moments when we get out of that, when we are sharp, i.e. the Rutgers game, I thought, we fought through those moments where it could have gone either way. There's a tipping balance or tipping point there, and it could go either way, and I thought we stayed on the positive side of that. In the Maryland game, it didn't go our way. They got the momentum. Now the rim becomes twice as large, and they're making shots, and we can't buy a bucket. So again, I think it's just mental toughness. It's being able to mature and be able to understand that take a possession at a time, and the next possession is going to be a positive one for us.
I told Drew after the game when we walked off the court together, I thought he would have made a difference.
Drew Thelwell, yes. And he will tomorrow night.
In that Maryland game.
Yeah. Drew brings a level of obviously experience. He's a grad transfer, a mature player, and he's been battle tested. Not to say the other guys haven't, but I think he's been really battle tested, and we need leadership on the floor during those times. And we've had certain guys step up at times, and we need just more of that.
We'll be back with more of our Hawk Talk program here. As I look at the top of the hour, we need to pause 10 seconds for station identification. Station ID break here. We're live at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Great entertainment, great food, great chow. It's nice and warm in here for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. We appreciate Sherman Dillard filling in tonight for Coach McCaffery. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. We'll take a short break, come back with more of your Twitter and Facebook posts. We'll take a question or two off the U.S. Cellular text line as well as email. Iowa basketball with Oregon at 7:30 tomorrow night, 6:30 for the pregame show with yours truly and Bobby Hansen here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're sponsored by University of Iowa Healthcare. Here for you no matter where you are in the state. Changing medicine, changing lives for all of Iowa and beyond. Visit uihealthcare.org. And by Summit Agricultural Group. Summit Ag is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products like corn, beef, hogs, ethanol, and beyond. Go Hawks from Summit Ag Group. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery and Coach Dillard, courtesy of the Hyatt Regency in Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffery. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides the direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. We're live inside the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Thank you so much for joining us on the Hawkeye Radio Network tonight. A lively group here as usual. Coach Sherman Dillard is pinch hitting for Coach McCaffery tonight. We'll get back to Sherman. In fact, he's got the scout on the Colorado game. We'll get that here in just a few minutes when we return. But it's time for a U.S. Bank scoreboard. U.S. Bank scoreboard update. U.S. Bank here for all of us. First off, there's some big games in the Big Ten tonight. Michigan State has defeated Purdue. Purdue in a little bit of a tumble of late. 75-66, the Spartans with an impressive win at Illinois. Congratulations to Coach Izzo over the weekend as he surpassed Bobby Knight, now the all-time winningest coach in Big Ten basketball history. His Spartans tonight in East Lansing topple Purdue 75-66. Underway, Illinois at Wisconsin, and the Badgers have a 17-13 lead on the Fighting Illini, not quite midway through the first half up at the Kohl Center. Later, it's Minnesota at UCLA out in Pauley Pavilion. Some interesting top 25 matchups tonight. The Iowa State Cyclones at the half lead Colorado by 17, 45-28 in favor of the Cyclones. Florida, ranked number 2, is running away from Oklahoma late in their game, 79-59. The Gators on their way to another victory. Other ranked teams in action at halftime. TCU leading 9th-ranked Texas Tech 36-28. Number 7, Texas A&M went down tonight at Mississippi State. Mississippi State defeats Texas A&M 70-54. And one other ranked team about to get underway, number 5, Houston, is at Arizona. Later, Marquette will entertain Seton Hall. That's it in college basketball tonight. One other game, Kansas at BYU in the Big 12 later on. Our scoreboard update courtesy of U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeyes. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. We'll step out, take a break. When we come back, Coach Dillard has the scout on the Oregon Ducks. That's ahead. Too many teams playing tonight. Can't keep track of them all. But more Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency when we return. The Hyatt Regency, if you're looking for a place to spend your next lunch break, we've got it for you. Come enjoy Watermill Kitchen and Bar's delicious weekday lunch specials featuring a pick 2 for $12. That's right, 2 entrees for $12. Select from refreshing salads, flavorful sandwiches, or comforting soups to build a healthy and quick lunch. All for a great deal. Check it out at Watermill Kitchen and Bar every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hear that? That's the Iowa Lottery powering up the new Pac-Man scratch ticket, where you could jump your way to $50K in instant cash prizes. Even if you don't score big in your first round, you still get an extra life. Because you can enter non-winning tickets in the VIP club for a chance to win a Pac-Man arcade package, plus your share of $325,000 in cash prizes. That's a lot of Waka Waka winning. Pac-Man is registered and copyrighted by Bandai Namco Entertainment Inc. Enter and see rules at iLottery.com/VIP.
Quinn Schulte, I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosmer to throw, has time. Yes, it's deflected, intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully, down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Again, no show next week. We'll be here the following week at the Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. And we really appreciate Sherman Dillard filling in for Coach McCaffery tonight. Fran out watching son Jack play for Iowa City West, final week of the regular season for high school basketball around Iowa. So we've got a very capable fill-in in Sherman Dillard. And he's got the scouting report on the Oregon Ducks. So let's talk a little Ducks basketball. Coach, we're certainly familiar with Dana Altman. I remember when Dana was at Creighton, he had some good teams there. We played him in the NCAA tournament back at the turn of this century out in Long Island and knocked him off. Then we ran into, the Hawks ran into Tubby Smith and a pretty good Kentucky team that went on to win the national championship. But Dana's always been a solid coach. We've played him a few times, as you know, in the NIT and out in Madison Square Garden in the Coaches versus Cancer event. What strikes you about Coach Altman and his style and the way they play?
Yeah, my hat's off to Dana. I've known him for years. I was assistant coach at the University of Maryland. He was at Moberly Junior College as a head coach.
What coach?
Moberly.
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri, yes.
Oh, the home of Maury John. Maury John had those great national championship teams.
Dana's had a great career, does a terrific job where he's been. K-State, he was at Creighton, K-State. Done a great job at Oregon. Stored program. You know what they bring to the table is, first of all, they're a mature team. Got 6 transfers on the team, experienced players, very capable scorers. They have almost 5 guys scoring in double figures. The last game they played, when they played against Rutgers, they had 7 guys out of the 9 guys on the team make a 3-point shot. They made 13 threes in that particular game. Run a very efficient offense. They run with the spread offense, kind of a read-react offense, sort of like Princeton offense, whereas, they take how you play certain things and then they have counters to it. He's a terrific coach. I think what they later, their identity is changing defenses. Like you can see them go a man-to-man press or a 1-2-2 press, 3-quarter court. They can come back into a 2-3 zone. Could be a matchup zone, and then they go man-to-man in the middle of the possession. So he's going to throw a lot of stuff at us. He's known for that over the years. But a talented team. They're led by a kid, Jackson Shellstad, the point guard, arguably one of the best point guards we'll face in the conference. Averaging 13 points a game, but
sophomore.
But terrific player, crafty, shifty, very good in ball screen action. Does all of the above. He's great at getting downhill in ball screen action. He refuses. He splits. He will pull up behind. And on top of that, he's a great three-point shooter, shooting almost 50% in three-point from the three-point line.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah, he's terrific. Bamba, a wing player for them, 6'5", tough as nails, very physical guard, catching it, trying to drive, getting into the paint, finishing through contact, will dance with it. The second leading scorer as a kid is a 7-footer. We'll have our hands full guarding him. They do 4-around-1 at the end of the break. They're looking to pound the ball inside to him. He can score in the dunk spot, or he can step out and shoot a 3. So it becomes I call him a hard guard, because you got to be able to respect him for his ability to make an outside shot, yet you got to be able to guard him on the low post. But a terrific team all around. Run a bevy of different offensive sets. They spread the floor. They get out in transition. We got to make sure we win the transition game.
You speak of Nathan Biddle, the 7-footer. Him and Jackson Shellstad, they're homegrown local kids, and that's nice to see. Bamba started Villanova, started out Washington State. I remember Brandon Angel. I remember when he was at Stanford, and he starts 6'9", wing player from Torrey Pines, California, and Stanford we know produces good players.
Absolutely. Very cerebral player, a versatile player inside out. He's going to be in a trailer spot for them, Angel. He can also knock down a three, but he's also very formidable in terms of scoring down low on the block.
40% shooter from three. There you have the scouting report from the man who has the scout on the University of Oregon Ducks. 18-8 is Oregon, 7-8 in the Big Ten Conference, and they're better than what that record might show. As we mentioned at the top of the show, they had lost 5 in a row before winning back-to-back games last weekend with Rutgers and Northwestern. This was a team that was 16-3 at one time and ranked number 7 in the country.
Yeah, they were. But obviously, they were ranked very high early. They beat Texas A&M early. They beat Alabama when Alabama was ranked 9th in the country. It was a tournament in Las Vegas. So they're very capable. We'll have our hands full. You know what I enjoy, though? I think, in the prep work, I'm big on this. Obviously, there's going to be setbacks and adversity in any season, and we're coming off a loss. I hate to talk about it, but the key for us is what happens. There's a span. There's that window of opportunity between a setback and when your next opportunity to play a game. And I have to say this, our players in the last 2 days have been totally engaged in practice and all the prep work we've done, the film work we've done, and that's all you can do. You can only you can only prepare for the next game. We've moved ahead from the loss. We've learned the lesson, if you will, and I think they've digested everything they could about Oregon, and I think we're ready to play tomorrow.
Yeah, and back to Nate Biddle. I've seen him play several times. I'm impressed every time that I see the kid. He doesn't look like much when he walks out there, 7 foot tall, but he can play both ends. I mean, he's leading the Big Ten in block shots behind that press.
He's a force on both sides of the ball. Obviously, you're 7 feet tall. And he's fairly skilled. Like when I say fairly skilled, I probably should say he's very skilled. As I said earlier, he's going to post up. When they run a break, it's going to be 4-on-1. He's going to post up. It's hard to guard him. We'll have Logie on him, and we got to deny his touch or limit as many touches as he can get. We may have to double at times to get the ball out of his hands. And then on the flip side, like if he could step out on the perimeter. If somebody, they run a great deal of this ball screen action where they pick and pop and throw back to him. So you hard hedge. The 5-man has to hard hedge, and then they throw back. So that's that separation. And then we got to get back. So Logie and whomever, Evan, has got to sprint back to get to him. He's unbelievably efficient at catch and shoot rhythm threes or kick-out threes.
On that note, guys, we got to take a break here. We'll come back with our remaining moments with Coach Sherman Dillard, who's filling in for head coach Coach McCaffery here tonight on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. We're sponsored by our friends at Midwest One. When we come back, we'll have a Midwest One stat of the week, courtesy of Midwest One Bank. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery and Coach Dillard, live from the Hyatt Regency and Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to us mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to Wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency and the beautiful Coralville, Iowa River Landing. We're in the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Again, no show next week. We'll be back the following week for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery, hopefully talking about a nice winning streak. Sherman Dillard has been kind enough to fill in tonight. We'll get back to Sherman. We've got a few minutes remaining here on the program in just a minute. Right now it's time for the Midwest One Bank stat of the week, quick stat of the week. As a presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball, Midwest One Bank is the proud partner of doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. It's Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. I like the 9 out of 10 free throws made at Rutgers. Sherman, that's my Midwest One stat of the week. Be nice if it was 19 out of 20, but
absolutely,
you got the job done. It's one thing to get to the foul line, it's quite another to make them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go back to the U.S. Cellular text line. Shelley in Sigourney. I got to get this one in. Coach Sherm, you must be, I got a hunch this is somebody who knows you. You must be the best dressed coach in college basketball. Where do you get your sartorial splendor from? Shelley. Thank you, Shelley in Sigourney.
I'm not sure.
You're well traveled, so you've been to a few haberdasheries down through the years.
First and foremost, let me say this. I grew up in South Central Virginia, a little bit destitute, if I will. I can say that.
Sure.
My mom said, don't say poor, so I'm using a big word, destitute.
Destitute sounds better. It does.
But she always believed in, putting your best foot forward and having a good appearance. So I don't know, but in terms of where I get my stuff from, I was fortunate enough to live in some areas where, there was some nice shopping at Neiman Marcus and Saks and et cetera. But I tell you where it started. My first college coaching job, I worked at the University of Maryland for Lefty Driesell. And Lefty, may he rest in peace, Lefty had this way of showing up at games really dressed dapper. He had really fine clothing, and I learned, the difference between wool and cashmere, and tropical weight suits,
silk and
et cetera. And, he would wear crocodile alligator shoes and alligator belts, and so if you're sitting on the bench with a Hall of Famer and he's dressed that way,
you want to look like him,
want
right?
to look old.
Absolutely.
So I think maybe it started with him, I kind of missed the dressing, like with the suits, but I have to say this. I'm going to say this. I love the practicality of wearing a quarter zip and some just slacks and some Jordan shoes. It's so much easier. It takes me 5 minutes to decide what I'm going to wear, And in years past, I had to decide what bow tie I'm going to wear, what belt I'm going to wear, which pair of shoes I'm going to wear.
You got one of the great bow tie collections.
Am I going to wear a white shirt or blue shirt? Now it's just give me a quarter zip, a pair of black slacks, and a pair of Jordan shoes, and I'm good to go.
Get your 3 or 4 quarter zips. You only need one pair of black slacks.
Exactly.
Right? One pair of brown.
Here's the thing with us. Okay, I hope I don't hurt us with our budget, but we have about 30 quarter zips now. We have different ones. We have all kinds.
They're all sharp.
They're all every
sharp.
colors. So much easier now. Tell her that I wish I could wear the suits, but I still have the suits. I'm not wearing the suits anymore, but I love the quarter zips.
There you have it, Shelley. Now you got the description of Mr. GQ himself, Sherman Dillard. Rich in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where the Hawks have had a good run of success at the Pentagon, playing games out there. Hi to everybody in Northwest Iowa and southeastern South Dakota. Rich says, Coach, with Owen Freeman out, I don't see as many minutes for Riley Mulvey as I expected. And I'm not sure when we got this. Riley's been sick the last couple games, Rich, but I think he's back tomorrow. At least we hope so.
Yeah.
But his point is, I love the size inside that Chris Taggio provides. Will we see more of him going forward? I sure hope so.
Chris has he's been making steady improvement, and yes, you will see more of Chris. What Chris brings to the table is this high energy. He's a rebounding machine, and he plays with so much reckless abandon. So we love him. We love him for what he does. He's just got to fit in with what we're doing in terms of on both sides of the ball. But yes, we'll see more of Chris in the future.
We had him on the postgame show Sunday night, and he is just a bundle of nerves and energy waiting to get in there and log more minutes.
Absolutely.
Bobby, I know you like him.
I do like Chris Taggio. I like the way he practices. He practices hard. He's got an edge to him. And he's got to learn the system, obviously. But we'll finish with this one, Sherman. We started with the guy, Seydou Traore. I just love the way that kid plays. And just give us your scouting report on Seydou, what you love about him, and where his future will go.
Seydou gives us a young man that is athletic. He's explosive. He's got wiggle with the basketball. He can make a shot on his own. We'd like to see him be more aggressive in terms of attacking the paint. But we love his game. We really do love his game. He's a sponge in terms of wanting to be better as a player. But he brings a dimension that we haven't had in years past, I think, with someone that's athletic, quick, explosive at that 3 spot. And also he's versatile. He can go at the 3 or the 4 because he's physical enough and strong enough to go at the 4. Very explosive. Right now he's settling a little bit for the 3. And that's okay. We'd like to have him do more of shot fake drive, rip and drive, and take it to the hole. And he's been doing more of that in practice.
You were a rock star again tonight. Thanks, Sherman. We'll see you tomorrow night at Carver.
Thanks, Sherman. Good seeing you guys.
Bobby, thank you. Thank you all for coming out to the Hyatt Regency. No show next week. We're back here a week from next week for more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. We'll talk then. We'll talk tomorrow night, 6:30 for the pregame show, 7:30 Iowa and Oregon on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Good night. Stay warm.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Corn Promotion Board. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One. Small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.